Welcome to Disembodied Screams. Spoilers, definitely proceed with caution. If you haven't seen it, you've been warned. Let's go ahead and get started with this. And let me say this right off the bat. I like this movie. More than most, it seems, but it does have a heap of problems. And let's start with what I think is the biggest problem, the third act and the reveal of the killer, Ray being one of them. It does not make a lick of sense. I get the trauma aspect, the bad divorce aspect, being close to the other killer aspect, the woman he works with. I get all that. But this reveal is terrible and it wasn't set up very well. Kind of just came out of the blue. Even though I kind of suspected it throughout the movie, but they didn't really set it up very well. In the first movie, Ray was this kind of clueless but likable guy. Good guy, decent guy. Second one, Freddie put a little more gusto into the role and became kind of a badass, which I liked a lot. So to see him turn into a killer was kind of heartbreaking. It really ruined a great, likable character who seemed like a really nice guy. And I don't like the way it retroactively kind of screws with the other movies either. That's really just bothersome to me. Julie James wasn't used enough, but I like seeing Jennifer back again. She sort of works. Her character sort of works, sort of doesn't. Rest of the cast is solid too. No standouts. They read their lines very well and they don't take you out of the movie, which is a lot to say for some of these slasher movies where the acting is never like center stage, but the actors do a decent enough job what they've got to work with. Movie's about 10 minutes too long. Could have shaved off about 10 minutes, and I think the movie would have been leaner and tighter for that. Plenty of stupid character moments, even for a movie like this. I keep going thinking about the guy that goes back to check on that noise, and there's that fisherman person standing right there, and you're supposed to believe that they've just got a fisherman outfit just sitting there on a mannequin in their house. Walks right past it, but it does lead to a pretty gnarly kill, so I'll give it credit for that. Let's see. My notes also say. The throwaway scene at the end of the movie with the two girls on the beach is another problem I had with it. Not sure about that, or that little goofy-ish dialogue, kind of campy dialogue leading up to that scene. They just seemed a little too casual for the subject matter they were discussing. Didn't really fit the tone of the movie. And I could just heap on some more negatives, but let's stop the hate train here and put in some positivity. The dream sequence with Sarah Michelle Gellar might be the movie's biggest highlight, and it actually worked. Probably shouldn't have. Good use of CGI. The de-aging was better than it is in most of these movies. It probably helped that Sarah is still pretty young looking. She hasn't aged. She's not taking a 70-year-old person and making him a 20-year-old person. They're taking, however old Sarah is and making her a little bit younger. So I think that really helped with the de-aging too. But that whole scene was great. Whole dream sequence. And I liked how they found a way to bring Sarah back in, even though her character was gone. They found a way to put her back in the movie. I thought that was really, really cool. Gore was decent. Kills were nothing spectacular, but I did like when they hung the father and his son up like fish at the dock. That was a nice finish to that double kill. But if you're looking for insane amounts of gore, this movie isn't for you. If you watch this franchise at all, gore is not the primary focus of this one, of this series. Not like a Terrifier, where gore is one of the primary focuses. Let's see. I also liked how they incorporated old sets and things like that into the set pieces, like the parade float. They used that nicely in that one scene. That was a nice touch. Good way to add in some nostalgia. I wrote in my notes. Fisherman/Fisherwoman in this one looked great. I always like the look of this killer and the weapon he or she uses. Lots of carnage to be had with that weapon. Mid-credit scene was good too with Brandy and Jennifer. And if there is a movie to be had with them chasing down this killer, it wouldn't make a lick of sense. But if there was a movie to be had, then I'd watch it. And I was sitting there trying to think of just some goofy, fun titles for it. And I kind of came up with one that's kind of stupid. They would never use it, but it sounds kind of funny in my head. So I'm going to go and read it off. And if you can think of some really goofy, funny titles or just another title for a Jennifer Brandy sequel from this movie, let me know in the comments below. But I wrote I know what you did last summer, and since you did this thing last summer, we're going to kill you for that thing you did last summer. So that'd be my title. Rolls off the tongue, right? Very much so. Overall, the first two acts were solid, but it is in the third act where this movie truly just falls off the cliff and just goes bananas nuts. And they don't know how to close it, know how to end it. They do a lot of stupid stuff. So I was on board pretty heavily with the first two acts, but the third act, I was like, you didn't stick the landing, guys. You did not stick the landing. All right, that's it. What are your thoughts about it? Let me do this one more time. That's it. What are your thoughts about I Know What You Did Last Summer? Did you enjoy it? Does Ray as the killer work for you? Let me know all that in the comments below. And pick up that hook and slash that like button until it bleeds. Let YouTube know this guy is doing a real good thing. And if you slash that like button enough and give it at least 100 likes, I'll always know what you did last summer. The only way I'm going to cover that heap of garbage is if I get 100 likes on this one, or I still know what you did last summer. But that's the challenge. This video, 100 likes on this video. And I've got several of these little challenges going out with a few other ones too. So if I 100 likes on this one, maybe I still know what you did last summer. Maybe one of my Nightmare on Elm Street ones. You know, I can cover some of these bad movies, but you got to let me know. I want to see you cover a bad movie. So, all right, that's it. Take care. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Have a good one, and be safe on those dark roads at night.